Pro Group Racing, show us your tips. It's our runner-by-runner Melbourne Cup preview. Looking through all 24 horses in this year's, what is it now, the Emirates, Lexus, something Melbourne Cup? Lexus Melbourne Cup. Shortest price favourite I can never remember. Is this the shortest price one in a long time, Beaver?
Yeah, shortest price favourite in a long time.
So you think?
So you think I'd say?
$3 or so?
Yes, so you think might have started shorter if it wasn't a bog?
Yeah. But interesting field, plenty to talk about. If you've jumped on for the first time, we've got to give Pro Group Racing a plug. Check out their website for their free tips and extensive guides. And we are here as Show Us Your Tips on the YouTube channel as well as on Spotify, iTunes. Every good podcasts are found twice a week, every week. Free tips. You can find us. Hopefully we find the winner here and plenty more. We'll also be doing a full comprehensive preview of both we're at Randwick tomorrow, Randwick and Flemington. After
Tuesday,
this show.
Mate. It's Sunday.
Tuesday, and run through from there. But who am I? I'm Daggy Beaver, and we're joined this week by Barney, who is our traditional co-host come Melbourne Cup time. I believe found first four or...
Second, third and fourth.
Standard last year. He's our pinch hitter come Melbourne Cup time. We should get you back for like an Epsom or something, for
normal weekend.
Something in autumn as well. But, also co-host of Footy and Frothies, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the other show. But shall we get into it? We'll talk about our review as well of Derby and everything in the other show.
I just have to say before we go any further, Daggy, it's great to be here in person with you, mate. A hug. This is our first show. This is our first show in person for some time now.
It's weird. I don't know where to look because I'm used to looking at my own head on the screen.
Toby will be happy that we're doing a show live.
With a microphone that works. So, very good. I was going to keep all the banter to the other show, but we'll kick off here. Just as people start going, I'm not watching this preview. Let's get into it, though. We are at Flemington. It's going to be 30 degrees tomorrow. The rail, I haven't seen rail movements. I usually don't tell you till a bit later. Have you seen any rail movements, boys?
No rail movements.
Nope.
This will tell us now. Refresh button wheel.
Yeah, I think it's just... normal position.
It's gone out 2 metres. It was true yesterday. So, gone out 2. So, it's Flemington. It's been pretty good. Warm weather. Look, it's not often you get a biased Flemington track. I think I can remember.
Didn't it?
Unfortunately, I can remember 2 Melbourne Cup days where it was a bit like that. But it was, apart from that, it was fine yesterday.
Yeah.
A little bit up and in, but it's all right. No.
Yes.
You're able to make ground. Best horses should be winning throughout the program.
Yep.
The Melbourne Cup itself, obviously, over 3,200 metres. Time honoured. We'll run through runner by runner and get a quick thought on all of them from both of you, and then we will do maybe throw out some exotics and a bet for both of you guys at the end.
Yeah. We
kick off with last year's winner, Twilight Payment, who comes back off coming through the same lead up here. Ran third in the Irish and Ledger last year. Won the trial this year and ran second. Comes out here. Jai McNeil, who rode him last year, a magnificent ride. Comes back, he's $12 in the market. I'll let you, Beaver, open the batting here. What are you doing with Twilight Payment?
Yeah, certainly a chance. You've got to give it a chance given it's won the Cup before, 58, so carrying the top weight here. 6th run into this preparation. Form's been reasonably good this preparation. I think the only one that it finished out of place was over the 4,000. So we know it's going to run the 3,200. Look, absolutely have to have it in the market. $11, third favourite. I'd certainly be throwing it in my multiples and definite chance in this race.
Barney, what are you thinking?
Yeah, exactly the same as Beaver, to be honest. It's almost the identical preparation that I had last year.
Yeah.
Coming into the Cup, it goes up 3 kilos on what it carried last year, which is the only question I have. Will it have the finish that it came home with and got the win last year? So I think it might be a little bit slower to the line at the end of this one. So, but yeah, it'll be in the finish for sure.
Yeah. Magnificent ride last year to win. It's a year older. It's going well enough. It's in as good a form as last year. And given, look, let's be honest, there's a long tail on this race compared to most Melbourne Cups. I think it's a live chance. Have it, about the right price in the market.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit unders compared to a couple of the others. You can get a bit more.
I feel you get better on the day.
I think you'll get better.
And generally, once all the money starts flooding in Melbourne Cup morning, I think even the favourite, which we'll get to now, will be longer.
Yep.
Which we'll get to the favourite, Incentivise. He's put together 3 Group 1s on the trot. He won the Maccabi Diva when some of us may have doubted him. He won the Turnbull impressively and then absolutely bolted in 3 wide in the Caulfield Cup. He's come down from Queensland and put out some sensational to the eye and on the clock performances. Brett Preble on shortest price favourite, as we've mentioned, 57 on a 52 minimum. That's fine. Barney, what are you thinking about Incentivize?
It's pretty well deserved to be favourite, doesn't it? It's come from nowhere up until April this year, and then it's just continually won every time it's stepped out. There's questions, obviously. It's never been over the trip before. That's one thing you would have liked to have seen it run a little bit closer distance, but yeah, I think it's going to be very hard to beat come Tuesday.
Yeah, look, I support Barnes' view. Look, how are they going to beat it is the question. Certainly some things are going to need to go wrong for Incentivize for other horses to beat it. Probably the two downsides. It is drawn at 16, but it's probably going to show speed, and it's probably going to come and sit somewhere towards the top.
I think it needs to find cover somewhere. It's got plenty of time to do it. So
it's going to try and find some cover across. I know it hasn't run the distance before, but I don't know that I'm too concerned about that. 57's a big ask for a horse that's never ran 3,200 before, and only up until recently, in the last 6 months, has the form that it has. Probably asking something of a horse that's never been done before. Carrying 57 for this first time in a race like this, with coming into this field. But having said that, just looks a cut above the rest of the pack here. So hard to go past Incentivize. $2.50 now, out 20 cents. I think you'll probably get close to $3 on the day.
I'll be surprised if you didn't get $3.
Yep.
At $3, I think it's a good bet. It is a star of the turf. It's made a believer out of me. I wasn't sure what to make out of it 3 months ago. Comes here. It's going to find somewhere in the running line. It could even sit sort of one back, two or three wide. It'll find a spot. Brett Preble will get it in wherever he needs to. It can roll forward and lead this field if it has to, I'm starting to think. And it is clearly on top. I think $3 is a bet, and excited to see what it can produce. If it wins this, it might be a complete star of the turf. The third is Spanish Mission, coming off being beaten a lip by Stradivarius, who's been, I guess, the preeminent stayer in the world for a few years now. Is second in the market. Craig Williams for Andrew Balding. Barney, how'd you line this one up?
I went back and watched a couple of the replays, actually. Obviously, the market says that it's a live chance. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to come home with enough pace as they seem to like to do over here. To be honest, I'd expect it to be somewhere in the pack coming over the line, but I think it's probably going to be more towards the 5th or 6th position rather than the first couple. So.
No, fair enough. You're allowed to say that. I agree with that, because we've tended to found the ones that have come out here and been successful are the shorter course horses that still have a sprint or can find a sprint at the end of 32. Beaver, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think the same, and I think that what we've seen in recent years is these international horses that do have that sprint are a little bit lower down in the weights. So
there's always the 4-year-old at the bottom of the weight.
Yeah. And I think
or Northern Hemisphere 3.
That's the case here. They carry 54, 53. This has got 57. Drawn similar to Incentivize, and it's $8.50. I think it's a little bit skinny in the market. I think there's again a couple of horses that I'd probably want to be on before it in this race. So yeah, look, it's definitely a chance, but without having seen it, and I'm just not so sure I'd be taking $8.50.
No, fair enough. It's we get to the fourth horse in the market. Interesting runner here, very elegant, coming off. Lots of people think the run of the race in the Cox Plate, gets J-Mac. No rain around, unfortunately, otherwise it would make this race very interesting. Beaver, you've been quite strong, and you think Very Elegant should have won the Cox Plate.
Yep.
Where does it fit here?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Very Elegant was probably the forgotten horse in the Cox Plate run. How you missed the kick in the Cox Plate, I just don't know. When I was behind Animo, it probably was never going to beat Animo. Yep. It should have been sitting 4th or 5th in the running line. If it was, I think it wins that race. Interestingly, it backed it up. It wasn't a bad run. I'm a little bit concerned that probably did take a fair bit out of it, because it did peter on the run at the end. Yep. Having to chase so hard. Again, 57, gate 19. the only benefit it's got J-Mac. But yeah, it's going to need to get in, and to get the distance, I think it's going to need a cosy run. A chance, probably in my mind, a better chance than Spanish Mission, but yeah, going to need a little bit of luck on the day.
That's a fair comment to say it's a better chance than Spanish Mission. Look, she's the best mare in Australia. She's won 9 Group 1s. I think fits in really well here. I think if you're keen on her, and I'm just looking at the market now, we'll give you a strong side at the price.
Yeah, $12.
I think that's
just
the
gate 19 just worries me, because it's going to probably want to get in that sort of midfield part, and it's just going to have to find a spot. If J-Mac can work some magic, then happy days. But he's going to need to.
Yeah, and I'll just get you to put your mic a little bit closer to your mouth there, Beaver. Or get any more mic complaints. Race horse 4 is Explosive Jack, the 4-year-old king of the derbies. Won derbies in 3 states last year and ran 3rd in the Queensland one. Is he going any good at the moment, Barn?
No, I don't think he is, to be honest, and I think he's more of a 2,000 metre horse. I can't see him getting the distance, and if he does, he's basically, I think he'll be walking over the line by the time he gets there. So, yeah, I would expect it to be midfield or worse at the end of this race, to be honest.
Big knock I've got is all the 4-year-olds stink this year. Have we had any champion 4-year-olds come out? Good on it winning. I wish I owned him. Got him winning all 3 derbies, but we haven't seen any of the 4-year-old form stack up at all, apart from I'm Thunderstruck, who didn't compete as an earlier season 3-year-old. He's fresh on the scene. I don't know if he's going that well. Good luck to Connections, but I'm happy to pass, Beaver.
No, thank you. No chance.
The Chosen One, the winner of the 2019 Herbert Power Stakes, has had 16 goes at Group 1 level for Duck Egg. Probably needs a bog out of Savabeel, who hasn't sired a stakes winner longer than 2,500, and is getting up in age at the moment. Any interest from you, Barn?
Not particularly. It did finish quite well last year. I think it ran 4th in the race last year. But yeah, sorry, what run was it? The Herbert Power actually was quite good, but yeah, the Caulfield Cup run stunk, and I don't think I'll be putting any of my money anywhere near it. So.
Anything, Dad B?
No, I think Barnes about right there. A couple of okay runs is preparation. Gets to 3,200, but probably if you're going off the back of the Caulfield Cup run, you're probably not going to want to put any money on this.
Interesting runner here that I'll get your thoughts on is the Delphi, the Friedman, or the Anthony Friedman team, and Damien Oliver, coming off starting single figures in the Caulfield Cup where it led up, which might not have necessarily suited.
Definitely not.
And is now popping up here at a price. What are you going to do with this horse?
Yeah, look, I leading up in the Caulfield Cup was a disaster. It just was the sitting shot there. Didn't suit at all. Gate 3 here, I think it'll get cover. It'll get back sort of just in front of midfield. I think it's a sneaky chance, that's for sure. The form prior to that was good. The win, it took off early, the start before that, and won quite comfortably. Going at 3,200, I'm not quite sure.
It did beat the Chosen One in that race. We just
that's my point. They're like 3,200, but it took off early and it killed them. It killed them, right? It was heaps better there. It's weighted well. It's got Oliver. 3,200's a concern for me. Yeah, I don't think I'd be putting my money on, but if you want a few bucks on it, go ahead.
Yeah, only slightly better than the last one we spoke about, I think, because as you mentioned, it won the Herbert Power in that against the Chosen One. I might have $1 or $2 each way on it, as Beaver said, but other than that, I don't think it's any chance of winning.
Ocean Billies now with Chris Waller coming over from the Bill and Sue Pomare stable over in New Zealand, and won the Auckland Cup. Has resumed a couple of flashing runs in New Zealand. Didn't do a great deal in the Caulfield Cup, but if it's ever going to peak, it's for this. Any interest, either of you boys?
Not for me.
Zero.
Okay, yeah. It's a very old school plotter who, it'll be the one just whacking away in a 32, but hopefully runs a nice 7th for Connections. Salino started 200s in the Caulfield Cup for Chris Waller and Ron Stewart. Is actually tied to Spanish Mission many moons ago, but since it's arrived in Australia, has done very little. Again, we might skip through some of these. Anything you want to add?
I can't believe it's only 90s. That's gate 24. Yeah, I'll race it myself.
No, fair enough. I've got a feeling you might do better in other venues here. We might have a look. The next in the market is Johnny Get Angry, the VRC Derby winner. Last year, it was I think on time it was the worst Derby of all time. I think literally no horse out of that race has won since. Cherry Tortoni might have won in Adelaide since. Very average form. It's done nothing since. Good luck to Dennis Pagan and Connections. But have you boys got anything you want to talk about here?
No, just put a cross next to it.
70s? Is there missing a zero on this? Like, seriously?
120 is the exchange when you might want to get on there.
Still missing a zero at the end of it.
All right, well, here's your zero. Knight's Order for Daniel Stackhouse and the Waterhouse team did win the 3,200 metre Brisbane Cup in the winter. It's going to bounce to the front, probably be the bunny for this field here.
Well, it's really out of its depth, isn't it?
It's 200s and it's better than the other two.
Passan off the third in the Caulfield Cup at a big price. Was the one that ran fifth last year and was the flashing light for this year, you'd argue. I think only Fiorente's really come back and won off not winning first time around. Red Godot got close a few times. Is there interest here at the price?
I think 40s isn't a bad price for a bit of interest. I don't think it's good enough to win the race, that's for sure. It's got a bit of ability. I think last year it was going better than what it was this year. Only 3 starts this year is interesting to me. It sort of was further into its prep last time and was going well. It had won a few races. This preparation, it hasn't won any races and kind of probably haven't looked like winning. So I'm a bit surprised. I don't know if it's got the kilometres in the legs. It's not a genuine 2-miler as it is, and I'm a bit worried that it just doesn't have the kilometres in the legs. So I wouldn't even be having anything on the 40s. I think probably something like Delph would take my interest more than it.
Oh, exactly the same as that, to be honest. I've always had a bit of an opinion of this horse. I've followed it for quite a while now, but this year, as Beaver said, it just seems to be a peg or two below where it was this time last year. So
I'll make a small case for the price, only because last year it raced for almost 12 months through into the Cup. I feel like this year this is the targeted race, and who am I to doubt Miles in Kieran Maher, Dave Eustace horse's legs after the Derby. So not necessarily it's one for wider exotics. If you're going to throw 6 or 7 into a first 4, I think it fits there. I'll take 50s about it, but that's about it.
Well, it just blew 5 points. There
we go. There it is. Very good. But I think it's the forgotten horse in this field relative to other horses.
Yeah, sure.
Cariff never had a black type win. Turns up here for the Snowden camp. Anything we can talk about?
Better start now.
Dad was a good horse. Master of Wine, who's been joined in those colours by Zarek and plenty of other milk drinkers. Any interest here? This was going to win the Caulfield Cup last year, they said.
Yeah, should have kept running and stayed for this year's Melbourne.
I've got nothing.
Sorry.
Pondus, one of Beaver's favourites, for Rachel King, Robert Hickman. Came out, hasn't won a race in Australia. It's come out and led up a lot of these races where it's been hard in the market. It will probably do the same here. Any interest, gentlemen?
Just seems to be a sort of one-pace horse, doesn't it? Just gets around just plods around at the same sort of speed. Can't see it winning. I don't think it figures in the probably top 6 or 7 either. So
yeah, look, I think that's right, Barn. I think it looks like fairly one-pace, plotted. Thought it had every chance last start, to be honest, and got run over third up. Maybe that helps a bit and it improves a little bit, but I don't think Rachel's strong enough for this horse to figure in at the end of the day. You'd want hundreds. Yeah.
Grand Promenade, 5-year-old gelding for McAvoy and Team Ma. Very honest little trial. Has beaten home Charlie Rose, who's come out to win the Geelong Cup since. Any interest here, Barn? Did win the Bart Cummings too, I should say, as well.
Yeah, it was a nice win as well. 3 weeks off into this one. I am quite interested in this horse. I think it should be there at the end of the 3,200 metres, and it does seem to have a pretty good sprint on it compared to some of the others in this field. So I'll have a bit of money each way on this one, I think.
Karen knows what he's doing, Beaver.
Yeah, he does. Interesting runner. I agree with Barney here. It was a good win last start. But no incentivise in the field. One thing you know about Grand Promenade, my little concern's the gate 21. Yep. You know it's got to sit forward, so it's going to have to be get out, used up. Kieran's going to have to get it in and get it into a good position.
A lot of Melbourne Cups recently, you get the first 400 where everyone just looks at each other, don't you?
Yeah.
So there might be a chance to...
So it might just get that chance to press in. You look at incentivise, you might want to try and follow incentivise over, I would say, is my guess. Look, before he went out for a spell, he was flying, and it's a horse that races on speed, and it will probably at some stage in the straight at 400 to go, probably look a chance. Yep. Can it run the strong 3,200? That's probably my slight question mark. So again, probably just needs to get a little bit of luck in running. It's a bit like, I put it in the same basket as Very Elegant. Needs to get in, get some cover, get a cosy run, and then I think it can run a strong 3,200. If it doesn't get that and has to do too much work, I think the pressure at the end would be too much. But at around the $20 mark, I tend to agree with Barney. It's not the worst bet in the world.
Miami Bound, the 2019 Oaks winner, produced a freakish run 12 months ago that had me interested at the price in last year's Melbourne Cup. Has done very little since. Patrick Maloney, Danny O'Brien, Barn.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, it's not going any better than it did last year, and it didn't go real well in the Cup last year. So I can't see it to making any impression on this race.
Port Galam, for Harry Coffey and the Hayes boys. Interesting run here, very lightly raced. Has come out.
Interesting.
Yeah,
nothing freaking interesting about it.
It's come out and done very little since it's got to Australia. 4-year-old. The only thing that piqued my interest is 4-year-old and 52 kilos. What price is it? Hundreds? Probably should be
150s.
Yeah, 150.
She's ideal at the 150s here for Froggy Neal.
Before you move on, yeah. It's another one I think I can beat.
We should tee up the Beaver race. She's ideal. Kingston Town Stakes winner, 7th in the Caulfield Cup in the wrong part of the track. Has been the queen of flashing light runs for a long time. Lots of Beyond Me Next Time runs. If it was the last on the program, I'd be terrified with Beyond what he does there. But look, have you got any interest in She's Ideal?
No, not at all for me.
Yeah, not really. I think it's probably one of the better 100 to 1
I think
chances. If I was looking at a $100 shot, it would be one that I'd be more keen to back than any other if I had to pick one. It was going pretty good. 3 starts back when it won. I thought that was a really outstanding run. The last 2 haven't been great. It's probably that. It's a bit of a grade below some of the top class. It does run some good races. I don't know. Could potentially sneak into, a first 4. But yeah, no.
I think you nailed it. I think it's the best 100 to 1 shot in this race. Yeah. If you're looking for one, is honest. We'll try. I think we'll stay. And we'll beat half the field home.
Yeah.
Future Score won the Cranbourne Cup. Right now, you can get 320 on the exchange. Do we need to say much about it? Charlie Rose is a Geelong Cup winner. Ground home in the Geelong Cup. It has formed through, as I've mentioned, Grand Promenade and Nonconformist, which you can tie into Incentivise. Is she the stay here that we're all missing, or what have you done, Beaver?
Look, definite chance. I like to look at a few of these number 20s and below that are lightweights here. Charlie Rose was really good last preparation. It's come back just as in good order. Stays all day again. Probably sits near enough to the pace. I think it can run the 3,200 out. It'll keep plugging when some of these are going backwards. Has a nice little sprint on it. 16 to 1's probably a little bit unders for me, but that's probably because the field is fairly weak outside of the favourite, and that's probably why you find Charlie Rose 16s. Definitely, doesn't run bad races, and I'd certainly have it in my first four.
Yeah, 100% the same. I'd definitely be in my exotic bets. Everything that Beaver mentioned, I love the way that she just tries every time she goes out, and I'll be having I'd like it around probably 25s, 28s, but I'll definitely throw some money at it if it gets out somewhere there. But
Floating Artist, we're talking about 18 to sort of $20 shots. It's the one that's piqued my interest. Should have won, should be undefeated in Australia. Went too slow, 2 back, and not the greatest ride last start. And if you look at that run, it was 10 lengths in front, 100 metres past the line. Comes here, I think it's going to stay. I think any pace is going to suit it better than the jig jogs it's been in. And I think it's the one for me outside of the market. Well, a bit longer in the market that I'll have something on Barney.
You've said everything that I'm going to say, so.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this horse. When it won 3 starts back, I had a multi into the Cup, and
with it in it.
What's that? I had it into the Melbourne Cup, but I had Zaki in my multi,
yep.
and Zaki put me out, and I had about 4 other things. Into the Melbourne Cup.
You got to have a sanity bet then, don't you, to try and...
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be backing it. Then 2 starts back, it missed. It just was not ridden the right way, and it finished 3rd and wasn't the best run. Then I watched it last start, and it was absolute moral beaten. They went around it, it got stuck back, got pulled back, and then flew along the inside.
Yep.
As you said, not far off the post, it was going 2 to their 1. This is a 50 kilos on the back. This is a real life chance, this. $15, there's gradual money for it. I think this should be second favourite at the moment, to be honest. It's the real danger to incentivize. I'm definitely going to play on Floating Artist. I'm not going to let this one get under my guard. Good chance.
Like it.
Yep.
Well, I've already said.
Oh,
I've got nothing else to say. You guys are the professionals.
That's right. Great House comes off winning the Hotham into the 3-day back up here. Mickey D and Chris Waller loses J-Mac. Can it do much here, Beaver?
Oh, it's not the worst in the world, that's for sure. Probably a little bit again under the odds, but Great House came here with a lot of expectation when it was running in Sydney, put in some good runs last prep, came back here, plotted when you thought it was going to win, then started to turn its form around with a nice win at Newcastle and then some other really nice runs. Come out Saturday, won well. Look, I think it'll get the distance, and I think it'll finish in the top 10. Can it win? Floating Artists at 15s and it at 21s, I'll probably put my chips elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I think it runs a nice 6th or 7th here. What do you think?
Yeah, around the same. The win on the weekend was really nice, but I think that's about as far as it's going to... I don't think it'll be winging any further.
It's an ordinary
that kind of distance.
Yeah. And even then, it was started $4 in an average field. It's not going to stack up to incentivise.
It was $2.70 when we did the show Thursday, and I can't believe we got the $4 in that field. But anyway,
Sir Lucan, the UK 3-year-old, no weight back, G Boss on top, Irish Group winner. To me, he's a nod on the roulette wheel. It's the one right down there that I don't quite know what to do with, Barney.
Yeah, don't know a lot about it either. I'd suggest it's going to need some luck to be figuring in the finish of this race.
Yeah, look, it's hard to get a real good line on this form. 8th, 4th, 2nd, it won it in Ireland at Navan. Again, Barnes a chance of winning one there. Yeah, look, I think again, $23, gate 18, Waterhouse spot. Probably names just there because I don't know why. Got to go somewhere. Again, I don't think it's a $23 chance. That's for sure. I think there's probably 5 or 6 that I'd want to put money on before it.
So we get to the crux of the show. Do we need? We need the winner and maybe a suggestion for an exotic. If you might throw in. Do you want to lead us away, Beaver? Here?
Yeah. Look. Can't go past incentivise here. That's my tip in the race. That's what I'll most likely be backing. Floating Artist is definitely the main danger for me. I think it's a genuine chance in this race. And if I was throwing a few other horses in for some of my exotics. Certainly throw in Grand Promenade, Charlie Rose, and Very Elegant.
Barney.
Nice. Obviously, Incentivise is going to be extremely hard to beat. I generally like to bet with a bit of value, so I'm going to go with last year's winner, to be honest, at $12. I think it's a fairly good price. Can see that being close enough to win as long as it gets a decent run. So I'll go with that as a winner. As you mentioned, bit of some each way hopes. I'd throw Delphi in there as a someone I'd have some money on each way. Grand Promenade also, which would be a decent chance, and Beaver wrapped up floating artist, and he's convinced me, so there'll be some money going there as well.
Incentivise clearly on top for me. I think you'll get $2.80, at least $3 on the day once money starts coming in. From floating artist to this will suit much better than its last two runs. You've got to throw the two imports in. Twilight Payment, Spanish Mission will both be more competitive than half this field. And then if you're looking for your next couple to throw into a big first four, it'll be Very Elegant, Grand Promenade, and Sir Lucan. Like I said, there's a knot in the roulette wheel there. But Incentivise, no tricks in this. If it turns up and runs well, I think it's going to win. And good luck to all connections there. Thank you, gentlemen. We've got through our Melbourne Cup preview part of the show. Check out progroupracing.com.au for their free tips, extensive guides every week. We are the Beaver and Daggy here twice a week, every week, free on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere good podcasts are found. To look at midweek racing as well as a Saturday card. And jump back onto this channel. You'll find the rest of the card wrapped up by the three of us very soon. Good luck tomorrow, punters. Enjoy the race, and we'll talk to everyone very soon.